You should not have come in this room.
My dear man, Ramda, here is 10 rupees. It is yours. If you leave me alone in this room for 10 minutes.
No. May the commissioner will blame.
Ramda, I am more interested in finding out who murdered your master than the police.
Commissioner said to me, Ramadas, everything stay same here until the chief inspector he come.
Stand over there. Stand there. Sit down. Stupid mess. Stupid. Ramda, I say, can't you understand that... Now listen, I'll give you 20 rupees, 30 rupees. Will you do what I ask? Will you please do what I ask of you?
जल्दी दरवाजे को बंद करो.
Ramda, I could strangle.
वो नहीं जाता. रामदास ने मुझे पुलिस बुलाने.
उसको वहीं पर रखो, हम आके तहकीकात करेंगे. घर को बिल्कुल बंद रखो.
I say, Commissioner Grimshaw, are you there?
Mr. Wales, I'm thoroughly exasperated. You have not only disobeyed the police orders, but you're becoming a pest.
I say, see here. Oh, hang it all. Listen, I'm positive that I can identify the woman who killed Spencer Lee.
Now explain yourself.
No, it would be most unwise to mention her name. You see, she's very highly connected in official circles.
Careful, Mr. Wales. You're treading on dangerous ground. It's best that you wait there. We'll be right along. Del Dandy, this man Wales is insane. Now he's intimating that it was a woman, highly connected in official circles.
Highly connected in official circles. These records show that this woman was heavily veiled.
Tommy rot. All Tommy rot. Most of Spencer Lee's women callers were heavily veiled. Most of them married women.
Yet immediately after her departure, the crime was discovered.
Yes. Edward Wales arrived at the house just as the woman was leaving. He found Lee on the floor with a knife wound in his back. He died in Wales' arms without speaking.
Let us be moving along. I would like to speak with this Mr. Wales.
Just a moment, please. Get me Sir Roscoe Crosby at the residency.
And you found no fingerprints of this woman?
No. Although tea had been served, her cup had not been touched. Sir Roscoe, this is Commissioner Grimshaw. I wish to advise you, sir, that Inspector Del Zante of the Criminal Investigation Department arrived in Calcutta this afternoon and sends his respects, sir.
Thank him, Grimshaw, and assure him that my office is at his service for any assistance he may require.
Dear, you've missed one.
Oh, my dear, so I have.
A very good one, too.
Rather.
That was Grimshaw. Inspector Del Santi of the Criminal Investigation Department has arrived.
Roscoe, I know I'm wrong, and I just can't explain my feelings. But at times I find myself hoping, I hope they never find the culprit.
Come, my dear. I admit he was a bit of a rotter, but you mustn't feel that way.
Oh, Father, now please don't start preaching. Mother wasn't thinking of Spencer's morals. Where are you, darling?
No, I was thinking of the woman. And Roscoe, I have a feeling that it was that veiled woman. And I dread learning who she is.
Nellie O'Neill.
I say, do you think something could be wrong?
Nellie, wait a minute, please. Nellie O'Neill.
You know, you're stubborn. You're just plain stubborn.
Richard, when a woman loves a man as much as I love you, it's hard to say no.
But, Nellie, I don't want you
There's
to...
nothing that would make me any happier than to marry you, but I can't.
Well, what is it then, dear?
Everything. Why, do you realize you don't even know who I am or what I am?
Oh, nonsense, darling. I don't care.
But don't you see, dear, there's a great difference between us.
Oh, so that's the bee in your bonnet. You think because you're my mother's secretary that you shouldn't marry me. Nellie, look at me. Nellie. That can't make any difference to us, dear. And it never will make any difference.
You don't seem to understand.
Now, darling, don't be silly. Listen, you come along with me and we'll settle that once and for all.
Oh, but darling,
now,
don't
you do just as
hear
I
what
say.
I'm
Come
trying
along.
Oh, Nellie's a brick, and I shall jolly well cherish her little sister.
Oh, well, I suppose we shall have to be reconciled to Richard's choice. But after all, it's really his wedding.
Oh, well, rather.
Roscoe, you're an old dear.
Top-hole, Richard. The family sanctions your choice of a wife.
Well, thanks, Helen. That's awfully nice of you, but I'm afraid you're putting the cart before the horse.
Oh, what do you mean, Richard?
Mother,
What is it, dear?
Nellie's all fussed up because we've got money. She thinks that I'm, you know, what they call in books, marrying beneath me.
Nellie, suppose you listen to an old woman.
Old?
Well, old enough. Now, Nellie, listen. When I married Richard's father, I was a school teacher, and he was a younger son, a captain in the army. We had no money, but we were awfully in love. Now, just for the sake of argument, suppose I had taken your attitude. Why, Nellie, we should have missed many years of happiness. And we still rather like each other. Now, if you want my real opinion, I think Richard's pretty lucky to get you.
Yes, yes, my dear. Take us as you find us, and we'll all try to be happy. Eh?
Now the thug has his victim at his mercy.
Why, she released me or straightened me. My word, that's not right. You know, all that beastly thing lacks is a mouth of bang.
Do I once saw a man?
You're quite right, I say, Doctor, the professor seems a bit of a tug himself.
Yes, well, he gave a bit of a realistic demonstration.
Oh, dear.
And so, that's the method the thugs use to remove their enemies, eh?
Yes, which proves to me conclusively that they had no hand in the killing of Mr. Lee.
Oh, so you don't think that Lee's articles attacking the Thuggy cult prompted his death?
A thug never spills blood.
Well, you're forgetting the veiled charmer, Doctor. You know, she's my choice.
Oh, I haven't forgotten the woman. And now that Del Santa's here for the investigation, I feel pretty sure that her identity will soon be disclosed.
Look here. To aid the Crown in its search for the guilty one, I propose a whiskey and soda and a rubber of bridge.
Charming idea. And Nellie, see if you can find Richard. He's probably with Sir Roscoe and Mr. Wales.
I told her I thought it'd be a jolly good idea.
Oh, surely, Howard, you're spoofing.
Well, I grant you it's a bit grotesque, but nevertheless, Edward Wales has prevailed upon Lady Crosby to allow that spirit medium or fortune teller or whatever you call it to give a seance here tonight.
Well, that'll be perfectly thrilling. Marvelous idea. Oh, I see. So tonight we're to dabble in witchcraft and occultism.
Now, if she's a true medium, your eyes will be open. I attended a seance in Berlin at Madame Bogart's, and through her spirit control, I conversed with my dead mother.
By Jove, I have an idea. We should call on the spirit of Spencer Lee, and I shall say to him, Spencer, dear old chap, tell us, who killed you?
Oh, Howard. Howard, why, that's just sacrilege.
It is not.
Oh, don't be
I'm
silly.
serious.
Oh,
But, Ned, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Mr. Wales, I demand an apology for what you just said.
Richard, calm yourself.
Well, Mr. Wales, I'm waiting.
Richard, in your eyes, my action is almost indefensible. I'm admitting that. But I have very good reasons for asking what I'm asking. Sir Roscoe, I've been your close friend for many years. You've trusted me, believed in me. I'm only asking you not to announce Richard's engagement to Miss O'Neill tonight. After all, 24 hours can't make any difference, Richard. And it may save you all a great deal of unhappiness.
Mr. Wales, I don't know what you've
dear.
discovered, but it's nothing of which I'm ashamed. Nothing.
Dear, you mustn't mind what he says.
But I do. Oh, I know it's about my mother. She's the most wonderful woman in the world, and I won't have her attacked.
Miss O'Neill, I don't know your mother. I've never even heard of her.
Then you'd better explain what
Richard,
you mean by
I'd
this.
rather be shot than do what I'm doing. But if I'm wrong, I'll come to you gladly and say so. I'll apologize to Miss O'Neill on my knees if she likes.
Ned, I don't know what this is all about. But knowing you as I do, I shall take your suggestion.
Oh, but Father, you
Richard,
can't...
please. But I warn you, tomorrow I shall expect you to explain everything to my entire satisfaction.
You have my word, Sir Roscoe.
Very well. Well, now I think we'll let the matter rest for this evening and join Lady Crosby, eh?
Well, Dad, could I speak to you just a minute?
Will you join the ladies, Ned?
Dad, you can't...
Richard. Ned has evidently got up on the wrong foot somewhere. But don't worry. Things will right themselves.
Have we time for another rubber?
Oh, I don't think I would. They'll be here in a minute.
Oh, I'm afraid this seance is going to be a frightful bore.
Oh, don't say that.
Yes,
It may
Lady
be
Crosby.
fun. Edward, Madame Lagrange, the fortune teller you sent the car for, has arrived.
May we see her now?
Oh, certainly. Shoti, ask Madame Lagrange to please come here.
I say, do you really suppose she expects to be taken seriously?
Oh, why not, Mary?
Well, then if we don't laugh at her, we'll have no end of fun. I'll rag her terribly, and she'll never know it in all the world.
Oh, Mary,
What?
I shouldn't do that. Edward says she's quite clever.
The great Madame Lagrange. But I'll venture I can describe her. Tall, dark-haired creature, a regular adventuress. Am I right?
She's the most remarkable woman I have ever known.
Madame Rosalie Lagrange.
Good evening to all of you. How do you do, Madame Lagrange? I'm well, thank you, ma'am. I'm glad. How are you, Mr. Wales? Sure, it was a grand hack you sent for me.
We wanted you to be comfortable.
Well, I was that. Do you know, when the Hindu gentleman come for me, I thought at first it was the Rajah himself. I hope you were not frightened. Devil a bit, now. I'd like to see the Hindu that could frighten me. They're nice boys, them Hindus. And most of them good Christians. When they're asleep. Won't you sit down? I will, then. Thank you, ma'am. Are you quite comfortable? I am.
So you tell fortunes, hmm?
No, miss, I do not. I get messages from them that's passed on.
Oh.
No, I don't hold with the cards or tea leaves or any of them tricks.
Oh.
Miss, once in a while, I give advice. If I were you, I'd pay that bill of 1,000 rupees you owe in the bazaar.
We're expecting great things from you tonight, Madame
How
Lagrange.
did you know I owed a bill at the bazaar?
Well, you left the bill in your bag in the hall. And while I was waiting, I read it.
And how did you know it was my bag?
Sure, the stuff on the bag matched that stuff on your dress. That's how I knew. Then it's all trickery. Well, it is, ma'am, and it ain't.
So that's the sort of demonstration we're going to get from you tonight.
Didn't Mr. Wales tell you?
I've told them nothing.
Well, then, tell them now, please.
You see, as I told you some time ago, Madame Lagrange has done things that cannot be explained. When I asked her to come here tonight, she said she would under certain conditions.
You mean test conditions?
Not exactly. What she said was that no money should pass between us, and that anything she would do tonight would be honest.
You wouldn't play us any tricks.
If I do, I'll tell you.
Oh, well, of course. We understand all about spirit rappings.
No.
Rather. That's old stuff.
Well, what do you think of that?
Well, you have to be near a table or something like that. And then...
Maybe a tray or a disc would do.
Oh, yes. And then in the dark.
Oh, of course, in the dark. And you get one rap for yes and two for no. How their spirits deal.
Please don't laugh.
Is it laughing eyes? Are you happy? Is there someone here you don't like? A gentleman? Dear, dear, a lady. Is it that one? Laughing eyes don't like you.
Marvelous. That's the most wonderful thing I ever heard.
But I don't think that...
Couldn't have been a trick. She stood right there, and I watched her hands every minute.
Yes.
Well, you watched the wrong end of me. I got a wooden sole in my shoe. I do it with my big toe inside. Like this. Sure, it's a trick.
Oh, so then, if we get any messages, it'll be...
If you get any messages... Well, sir, I'm telling you the truth now. Most of the time it's tricks. But tonight, there'll be no faking. No, I'm a stranger to all of you, except Mr. Wales. I don't know what house I'm in.
That's quite true.
What, you haven't given her a hint of any kind?
No. On my honor.
Madame Lagrange,
Sir,
I know a man who saw this woman Palladino lift a table just by putting her hands on it.
would someone give me the little card table over there?
Oh, I say.
I suppose this is going to be another fate.
It can be done. It can be done. I don't know if I can do it in the light. But if you want, I'll try.
Oh, please do. Please, without trickery.
I mean, like this.
Miraculous.
It's the most remarkable thing I've ever seen.
Now, you all know what I can do. I can't fool you too, so you'll have to take my word for it that I won't. Now I'll go into trance for you if you like. The spirit controls a sweet little child named Laughing Eyes.
Quiet.
Wait! Don't speak.
But I...
No, don't say anything. There's a message coming. There's a No, Laughing Eyes is gone. It's the unbelievers. Most of you don't believe. It's hard to get messages that way. I think I might as well go about my business.
I thought she would when she found out she was at Sir Roscoe's house.
Did you know?
Won't you please stay?
Oh, I'm afraid I can't, ma'am. You see, I'm not just myself. I'm not feeling just right.
Really, Madame Lagrange, I'm afraid that under the circumstances
I'm sorry, sir, but I got to go.
Oh, well, I think it's a shame to bother, and I think she's quite right to go. You know, her sort of tricks aren't for people of intelligence.
Yes.
Well,
Won't you please stay?
I mustn't, miss.
But won't you? As a very great favor to me. Please.
Well, miss, since you ask it, I'll stay.
Madame Lagrange, I assure you I'm very interested in the outcome of this seance. And I warn you I shall watch your manifestations very closely.
Do so, sir. I want you to.
And I'm going to ask you to submit to certain conditions.
Anything at all, sir. Anything at all.
To forestall any assistance from outside, I want to suggest that all the doors and windows of this room shall be securely locked.
Yes. And I suggest that we search Madame Lagrange. Oh, that is good.
She's Willie.
Why not? There's no holes in my stockings.
I suppose it's going to be very difficult for you to get results if we're all so antagonistic.
Well, sir, it's up to them. If there's any that wants to communicate with any here, maybe they can reach us. I don't know. Sure, I don't understand you at all. I show you my tricks. Would I have done that if I'd wanted to fool you? I would not. Well, then why can't you give me credit for being honest? Oh, I don't think any of us doubt your honesty. They're just skeptical. Thank you, ma'am. And I don't think we need submit Madame Lagrange to being searched. Oh, sure, I don't mind, ma'am. That is, if none of you fine ladies will be shocked, seeing plain, hand-sewed underwear. Then will you come with me? I'm sure we won't be shocked. I wear that kind myself. Do you now, ma'am? We shan't be long. Oh, ma'am, would you mind if all the ladies come? Then they'll all be sure I'm not concealing anything. Will you come?
You know, I really believe that woman has power of some sort.
Look here, Wales. What are we supposed to do? Ask her a lot of silly questions?
No. I'm going to find out who killed Spencer Lee.
You're going to do what, Edward?
I'm going to try to communicate with the spirit of Spencer Lee.
So that's your reason for bringing this woman here tonight?
Precisely. Have you any objections, Sir Roscoe?
No.
Look here, Wales. Spencer Lee was an out-and-out rotter.
Brandon.
It's the truth. His killing was good riddance to bad rubbish.
Wait. Spencer Lee was my friend.
Oh, gentlemen, I beg of you.
You see, Mary, really, it was quite a waste of time. Quite absurd.
Well, I'm perfectly satisfied anyway.
How do you know?
You should be.
Well, I'm glad of that, miss. Did you expect to find trapdoors and fake spirits up my sleeve?
Well, one can never tell.
No. And I suppose mine's the only trade there's any tricks in,
May I?
Well, oh, thank you, miss. Now, would you tell the gentleman to put the chairs in a circle, and I'll be right along? I hope you'll forgive us for being so skeptical. Come along,
But we have some good news to tell anyway. I'm glad Mary's satisfied. But at least we found out that she didn't have anything concealed on her.
Well. Oh, darling.
Mother.
Oh, I didn't know. I wouldn't have come here for anything in the world. I wouldn't. They just brought me here, and I didn't know where it was coming. Now, don't tell them. Don't make me shame you before you find friends. I'll get away as quick as I can.
Mother, don't say that. Oh, there's no shame, darling. I'm proud. Don't ever say that again.
All right, darling. Tell them if you must, but let me get away first. No, I must go. They think there's something wrong. Come along.
I do wish you'd let me tell them.
No.
Yes, gentlemen, in a circle, I think.
I'm sorry, Sir Roscoe, you feel that way about it.
Not a matter of feeling. I'm just a little skeptical, perhaps. On the table, I think.
Oh.
You sit there, Howard? Yes, I'm going to sit here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I may want light. Richard, if I call for lights, give them to me. Don't wait for anything.
Righto, Dad, I'll sit right there.
Well, that wasn't necessary at all. I should say it wasn't.
But I assure you she has nothing up her sleeve.
Well. Well, I'm glad you're satisfied, miss. Yes, that's right. That's the way we want it. Now, if you'll all sit in a circle...
Madame Lagrange, will you sit here?
I will, thanks. I will, sir. Now, if you'll all sit down.
Well, how should we sit? I mean, do you want us in any particular order?
Anyway at all, sir.
Shall I sit next to you, Sir Roscoe?
I've always wanted to hold your hand, my dear.
Don't trust him, Grace.
I won't.
Oh, I'll chaperone them.
Will you sit by me, Miss O'Neill?
You know, I'm really getting quite a thrill. So what's the joke, Madame Lagrange?
Well, miss, I didn't know anything would give you a thrill.
You don't like me, do you?
Sure, miss. I'm crazy about you.
Shorty, I want you to put those keys in your pocket. Now, I want you to lock this door on the outside. Now, stand outside the door and don't unlock it until I tell you. Understand?
Yes, Sahib.
Are you there, Shorty?
Yes, Sahib.
Now I think we're ready.
Edward, wait. There are 13 of us. Oh, don't sit down.
Oh, I don't mind those little
Well,
superstitions.
yes, but
What do we do now? Well, if you'll all join hands.
Oh, that'll be jolly.
If you'll all join hands. And then keep quiet. Now, don't try to think of anything.
By Jove, that'll be easy for me.
Now, we can't get results if you're going to treat this as a joke.
Yes, I think we should do as Madame Lagrange asks. I suppose you'd like the lights out.
Well, you'll get better results that way.
Richard, will you put out that light when we're ready?
Right you are, Dad.
Now, you mustn't be frightened if I cry out or moan when I go into trance. I'm not in pain or anything like that. I don't even know that I do it, but I'm told sometimes it happens. Now, sir, you can put out the light.
oh, there's a hand on my face. There's a hand on my face.
Lights, son.
Look, it's a trick.
I was going to ask you to tie your hands just now, but I thought I'd show you this one first.
Oh, I don't see how you did that even now.
No, miss, I hardly thought you would. Well, you see, miss, things happen in the dark. The sense of touch ain't much developed unless you're blind. When the young gentleman took his hand away from me to turn out the light, I took my other hand from the gentleman there. And when y'all joined hands again, the two gentlemen was holding hands as comfortable as you like. And I was free. Oh, it's an old trick. All the mediums use it. Anyone can do it. No, sir, if you'll tie me in, we'll go on.
We'll see to that. We shall want something strong.
Well, take handkerchiefs. They're strong enough.
They'll do very well. We shall want 3 more.
Here's mine, Dad.
And here's mine.
Thank you.
Here's mine.
Now, Madame Lagrange, if you don't mind.
Now,
Richard.
I don't see why you did that just now.
Well, I wanted to make them tie me in. I wanted you to be sure,
Why?
because I think something's going to happen. I feel there'll be manifestations. I wanted you all to be sure I wasn't faking.
I don't believe all that is necessary.
Well, why not, if they want it?
Doctor,
Yeah?
will you check up after me?
Right. There. That's all right. Says that.
Now I'm sure you can't get away.
Yes, so am I.
Now, if you'll all join hands again, you'll have to reach over and take my hand this time. No. Now, just keep your minds free. That's all you have to do. Now, sir, you can put out the light.
Oh, I can't stand this. I can't stand it.
Be quiet, please. She asked us to keep still.
Spencer? What's Ned? Spencer wants to tell him about the letters and the pain in the back. In the back.
What was in the back? Ask him what was in the back.
Ned. He wants Ned.
What do you want?
Ned. The swimming pool? Don't forget. The swimming pool.
You mean the time you went in after me when I was drowning?
Spencer says he can't rest. You promise?
Spencer, of course I remember. What do you want me to do?
Find.
You mean you want me to find the letters?
Someone came.
You're trying to tell who killed you?
You know who killed you?
Ned. He wants Ned.
You want me to ask? Do you know who killed you?
Oh, this is horrible. Horrible.
Quiet, daughter.
Can you tell the name? Quick, the name! The name! Spencer, can you tell who killed you?
You must keep asking.
Who killed you? Who?
Wales, is anything the matter?
Father,
Is anything the matter?
my hand.
Richard, the light. Turn on the lamp.
Look at him, Father.
Stand back, please. Stand back. Doctor.
He's dead. Oh, it's impossible.
No, look at your hands.
Shooty! Shooty!
Yes, Sahib.
Telephone the police commissioner's office. Get Inspector Del Santi if you can. Tell him to come here at once.
Very good, Sahib.
Stabbed in the back. Just as Spencer Lee was.
Just as he was asking. Just as he was going to find out who killed...
What is it?
Inspector Del Zante is on his way, Sahib. Shall I unlock the door?
No. Not until the inspector tells you.
Roscoe, you know, you had no right to move Mr. Wales' body.
Yes, I know, but we couldn't leave him lying here on the floor. That was a little too much. You see, we were all locked in here.
Now you ask me.
Just a minute, please. Locked in?
Exactly.
You mean as I found you when I came?
Yes. All the doors and windows had been locked for the seance. The servant had the key. I refused to allow him to unlock the door until you came.
So you were in the dark. Wales was stabbed in the back. The lights were turned on. By the way, who turned on the lights?
I did, Inspector. I was sitting there in that chair close to the light, purposely, so that we could expose trickery if we found any.
You'd better let me have a look at that knife.
We didn't find the knife.
Looked carefully.
Everywhere, while we were waiting for you.
That places all of you under suspicion. Every one of you. So whoever used that knife still has it.
I should think so, undoubtedly.
Now, with the exception of Sir Roscoe and his family, I know none of you. So I'll have to ask. Now, that's rather a gruesome thing there. I think we'll remove it. Will some of you gentlemen carry Mr. Wales' body into another room?
Will you gentlemen take the feet? Doctor, you and I can...
Just a moment. Well, The test didn't work very well, did it? The four of you hesitated. Certainly, you can't all be guilty. Well, we'll have to try something else. Now, I would like to visualize the scene a little more clearly. Let's form that circle again.
Oh, I see.
Of course, this time without Mr. Wales. Won't you all sit just as you were sitting at the seance?
Well, Richard was sitting there, Madame Lagrange was next to him, and I was sitting next to her.
And how were the others placed?
I'm trying to remember. Queer what a jumbled memory one has.
I sat next to you, Sir Roscoe. Don't you remember we joked about holding my hand?
Yes, dear, I remember.
Who sat next, please?
Inspector, I could place them all for you.
If you'll be so kind.
Well, this young lady was there, and this gentleman sat next to her, and this young lady sat next. She was here. No, that gentleman came next.
No, you're wrong there. I was... Oh, no, you're right. I was there. I remember saying, won't you sit by me, Miss O'Neill?
All right, then who sat next to Dr. Mason?
Why, this young lady.
But something seems wrong here. Oh, no, that's right. I was sitting next to you, wasn't I, Doctor?
Inspector, must we go through this again?
I'm afraid so, Lady Crosby. Who occupied this seat?
Mr. Wales. I know, because I sat here. And I was next to him.
Thanks. Now, you're all sure that you're at the right places.
But there's some mix-up here, I know. I was not next to Mr. Wales. Of course you weren't. I don't know what I could have been thinking of. I was sitting where Mrs. Eastwood is.
Oh, yes. And I was next to Mr. Standish and Dr. Mason. I knew I was in the wrong seat.
Then if you ladies will exchange places. Now, I want you all to be extremely careful. I don't want any surmises. Did the messages come for anyone but Mr. Wales?
No, the calls were all for Wales. He kept on saying, do you know who killed you?
Did she mention a name?
No. She gave a long moan. Then Edward Wales continued to ask. He said, tell me who killed you. I want the name. Then suddenly gave an agonized scream and cried out that he was hurt. He was dead when we turned on the lights.
Matron is here, Inspector.
Thanks. Now, one more question, Sir Roscoe. Did you get the impression that if Mr. Wales had not been killed, his question would have been answered?
Yes.
It was well established in your mind that Wales was the only person able to get a message.
I'm positive.
Then he was killed in order to prevent his question being answered.
That's the impression we got.
Undoubtedly.
That leads to the conclusion that whoever killed Wales knew who had killed Spencer Lee. Well, there's a police matron in the other room who will search the ladies. Grimshaw the men, one at a time. It makes no difference to me in what order they go.
Well, I have nothing to conceal.
Me neither.
I'd rather you waited a few minutes, Madame Lagrange.
I'm quite ready.
So am I.
Thank you very much. You need not sit there any long, unless you wish.
Goodness.
I've never been so embarrassed in all my life. Never.
Oh, Richard.
Madame Lagrange,
Sir,
there is a question I wish to ask you.
anything at all, sir?
When Mr. Wales asked you for the name, why didn't you answer him?
I don't know, sir. I was in a trance.
Then you didn't hear the question?
How could I?
I didn't ask you that. I asked you why you didn't answer him. Why didn't you carry out your part of the bargain?
I don't know what you mean.
My words are perfectly plain. Why didn't you carry out your part of the bargain?
But there wasn't any bargain.
Your whole seance was a fake. It was not only planned but rehearsed between you and Wales. He thought that a woman had killed his friend, and he told you about it and asked your help to discover the murderer.
I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Perhaps this will refresh your memory. What do you want? Answer, don't forget the swimming pool. Don't ever forget the swimming pool. Then, do you mean the time he went in after me when I was drowning? Then later, Spencer Lee says he can't rest, and so on, down to, do you know who killed you? The answer to that should have been yes. What did she say?
She didn't answer that question.
The next question is, can you tell the name? And then she was to have told a woman's name. Just the first name. Sir Roscoe, what did she reply to that question?
She moaned and cried, keep on asking, keep on asking.
Why didn't you do as you agreed?
I don't know what you're talking about, Tom.
You don't. Mr. Wales' theory was that the woman killed Spencer Lee, and he was sure that he found that woman. But he dared not accuse her, or even tell me her name. But he knew she would be here tonight. He thought that he can play on her superstitious fears, and that when her name seemingly came from the spirit of the dead man, he would confess. He told Madame Lagrange the name. You agreed to all this. Why didn't you speak the name?
I don't know anything about it. He must have forgotten to tell it to me.
Oh, no, he didn't.
There wasn't any name. He didn't tell me any name.
You came here for that purpose. And after you got here, something happened to make you change your plans. Something unexpected happened. Something unexpected happened. Now, what was it?
Well,
what was
that's over.
Mrs. Eastwood, what did you say was your first name?
Mary.
Mary. Yours?
Grace.
Sir Roscoe, your wife's given name is?
Alice.
Alice. Mrs. Trent.
Helen.
And yours, Miss O'Neill?
Helen.
Helen.
Well, you see, I was christened Helen, but my friends call me Nellie.
I see. Helen. Helen. So there are two Helens. Two Helens. Sir Roscoe, when Madame Lagrange first came tonight, did she show any surprise at seeing any of the people here?
I wasn't in the room. I was in the library with Miss O'Neill and my son.
Then Miss O'Neill wasn't in the room when she arrived. So there were two Helens. Everything was going along smoothly until Miss O'Neill came in. The extra Helen. Rosalie Lagrange. What's that girl to you?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. And why did you try to deceive me as to where she sat? Why did you place her so that I wouldn't know she was sitting next to Mr. Wales when he was stabbed?
It was just a mistake. I didn't go for to do it.
I'm afraid that won't do. It is perfectly apparent that the name you were to speak was Helen. What's the use of lying to me? You tried your best to shield this girl, and I want to know why.
I didn't go for to do it. I never heard the young lady before in all my life.
What's that girl to you?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Oh, you old harridan, you
Leave
belong.
her alone. Leave her alone.
I thought, perhaps, I'll get it that way.
There, it's all right, it's all right.
Of course, it's all right. We have the fingerprints and...
Well, if you think for one moment I'm going to... Richard, my boy, please. Think or think nothing.
Young man, don't be foolish. I'm sorry. But it's too clear.
Clear? Glory be, how could it be clear? Inspector, you're never going to accuse my little girl of a thing like that.
He was next to him. She had only to free one hand and strike and then take his hand again.
No, there was something else she had to do before she could do that.
Well?
She had to have murder in her heart. Look at her. Look at the eyes of her, at the face of her. Is the murder there? Man, haven't you got eyes in your head?
Not on either of them, Inspector.
I know where it is. Tell the matron she'll find the knife on this girl.
No.
Take her away.
Oh,
Happy?
Inspector, don't do it. I'll tell you anything you like. Only keep your hands off my little girl. I did come here, like you said. And when I seen my own child, I lost my head. I'm a silly old woman that ain't got me since. I tried to save her, and I've only made matters worse. But you've looked at her. You can't think she'd do a thing like that.
Yes.
Then, Inspector, you're a fool. And God helping me, I'll prove it.
I don't know why I came. I think it's I never had any desire for it. I don't know what in the world possessed that woman to come here. No, I can't. I don't know why you ever allowed this woman to come in. Not a fool for a whole lot. Is he still there, Howard?
Yes. And I hope he takes root there. I hope he grows there like a berry tree.
It's a beastly outrage. Here we are, searched and held prisoners like common criminals.
Brandon, I don't think...
Father, they've searched Nellie and found nothing. Can't you insist that they release her from that room?
I'll see what I can do, Richard.
Oh, please.
Richard, where is her mother?
I don't know, Mother dear. I inquired, but they'd only tell me to come here and wait until I was wanted.
Oh, God, show me the way. Sure, I've been a faker all my life. I've tricked them and fooled them. But honest, I never knowingly done harm to anyone. And there is a power. It's come to me before. Oh, God, give it to me again. To save my little girl. For the sake of your son. Amen.
I understand, but is it absolutely necessary to keep her locked in that room?
Who turned off those other lights?
I did, sir.
Why?
Well, sir, I was praying.
Praying. What for?
Guidance.
I hope you get it.
I will, sir.
Take her to the matron and have her searched. Unless, of course, you want to give up the knife now.
I got no knife, and I been searched once.
Exactly. But then you were allowed to come into this room. We're rather anxious to know what you found while you were in here.
A sort of a comfort, sir. A feeling that the innocent had come to no harm.
Take her to the matron. Take her out of here.
I'm going.
You wanted me.
Yes, sit down, please.
My dear girl, I'm so
Roscoe,
sorry.
if you caution her in any way, you will be interfering with this investigation.
I beg your pardon, Inspector.
As
Say, Ellis, what happened here at the window?
No woman lowered the blinds and stood gazing at the sky.
Throw anything out the window?
No, Inspector.
Now then, young woman, let's hear what you've got to say.
I've already told you there's nothing that I can say.
Well, you'd better make up your mind to talk. Now, out with the truth.
She'll out with nothing. You say you got the fingerprints of the girl that was in Spencer Lee's rooms. Well, you got me Nellie's fingerprints. Why don't you compare them?
Mother.
What were you going to say?
Nothing.
Inspector, the fingerprints compare perfectly.
That's a lie.
Sir Roscoe, we have taken this young woman's fingerprints. And there's the cup which we took from Spencer Lee's rooms. Her fingerprints are on that cup.
I never touched a cup.
Ah, thanks. I know that.
Then you said that just to trap her.
There are no fingerprints on the cup. We merely wanted her admission. She was there.
Nellie, look at me. Look at your old mother. Well, and what if she did go there? She'd a good reason for it. What did you go for, darling?
I can't tell you.
Nellie, dear, you must tell me. Dear, listen. You know that I trust you. You know that we all love you. Now explain to him, dear.
Well, I'm waiting.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Yes, my dear, we know that. But why did you go? Did you know Spencer Lee?
Oh, of course she didn't, Father.
Why doesn't she speak for herself?
Because I'll speak for her.
My dear, can't you answer even that question?
Dear, don't you see what they'll think if you don't? Nellie, you must tell me.
Nellie, you're shielding someone.
No.
And that's the first lie you ever told me. I want to know who you're shielding. Tell me who it is.
Please, dear.
Yes, you're her sweetheart. Make her tell.
Dear, you must.
Richard, I can't.
My dear, even if you are protecting someone else, I think you ought to tell us.
Break her word, is it? She should not. Sure, there never was an O'Neill yet was an informer. Sure, she needn't tell. I know it myself now. And blind I've been. Yo. You're the one that found out there was 2 Helens. The extra Helen, says you. Well, send for the other Helen and ask her.
Mother, stop.
Stop, is it? I will not.
Wait, please. Did my daughter send you? Because if she did, we can't accept that sacrifice. I want to know the truth. Did my daughter send you? Did you go for my daughter?
Yes, I knew it.
My daughter sent you? What for?
Some letters.
Why didn't she go herself,
She
dear?
was afraid.
Go on.
Tell him, dear, it's all right.
Why, I don't know what to say.
Why not tell the truth?
Tell the inspector what happened, dear.
Well, nothing happened. They were just some silly letters that Helen had written Mr. Lee before she and Mr. Trent were married. You see, Mr. Lee knew that Mr. Trent was terribly jealous, and he threatened to send the letters to him if Helen didn't come to his rooms. Helen confided in me, and I went to Mr. Lee. He said that he loved Helen and was desperate. It seemed like a funny kind of love, but I didn't tell him that. Then he gave me the letter.
Was it before or after Mr. Lee ordered tea?
After.
My compliments, young lady. That was beautifully done.
Grimshaw, get Miss Trent.
All right, Inspector.
You don't believe?
Not a word of it. Not one word. She wasn't protecting your sister. She was protecting herself. She went for the letters, of course, but the tea was served before she asked for them, not afterward.
How do you know that?
The butler wouldn't serve tea to a man she had just killed.
Why, you...
Richard, she was engaged to you. And he had compromising letters she had written to him. So she went to get those letters. And then, when he wouldn't give them to her, He killed him. Mrs. Trent,
Yes, Inspector?
did you ask this girl to go to Spencer Lee's rooms to get letters you had written to him?
Did she what?
Did you, Mrs. Trent?
Certainly not. Why, Helen, I...
Still. Are you sure?
Of course she's sure.
Will you please answer my question?
I never wrote a letter to Spencer Lee in my life. I don't know what she's told you, Inspector.
Never mind what you told me. I want to be very sure of this. Did you ask this girl to go to Spencer Lee's rooms?
No.
She had no letters of yours?
No.
But Nellie didn't know Spencer Lee, Helen, and you did.
How about that, Mrs. Trent?
I think Nellie knew Spencer Lee. I hadn't seen him for months. He used to come here a good deal. He wanted to marry me, but I didn't like him. And I certainly never wrote him letters of any sort.
Thank you, Mrs. Trent. That is all I want to know.
Helen, you're lying to save yourself. You've got to tell the truth.
Richard,
She is
dear.
telling you the truth.
She's not.
Richard, wait. Please. I'm sorry, Richard.
But, Father, you don't believe...
No, dear, I don't. Inspector, do you need us any more?
Not anymore. Thank you.
Thank you.
Grimshaw, take her to police headquarters.
No, not my Nellie. Inspector, I wouldn't do that if I was you. I know who done it.
You know who was it?
I can't tell you yet, but I will. Give me a chance. Give me time. Give me an hour. Keep them all here in the house. An hour more.
I'll give you 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Oh, let me think. Let me think. No, darling, not now. Go away, go. Inspector, won't you take them all away? Please.
All right. Go away, please. Come here, please. 10 minutes.
Oh, what let's do. I said I knew who done it, but I don't. Sure, laughing eyes. You're no good to me now. We've faked all our lives. Now when I want the real thing, I got nothing at all. If only I could get a real message. Laughing eyes. Laughing eyes. Are you going to lift me, baby? For your scheming, cold-hearted murderer. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. It's come. After all these years, a real message. Oh, I'll take it, believe it, and trust that I'm to be sure. Glory be. The knife.
I knocked twice, but you didn't hear me.
I heard you. It was a message, just the same. Inspector, I got to speak to you alone. I got to. You must let me. You got to let me.
Very well. The constable outside has orders to arrest anyone leaving this house.
What did Mother mean, Richard? What did she mean, a message?
I don't know, dear.
Please, please, Inspector, do as I ask. Give me a chance. Then, if it don't work, you can take me Nellie and lock her up. Please, Inspector. I know Manelli will do it. Let's see if the other one will.
What you're asking me to let you do is insanity. It's unheard of.
Inspector, please. Don't you see? I'm drowning. And I'm snatching at the last straw.
I hope you will. Grimshaw, go with Madame Lagrange and do what she tells you.
You can't mean it, Inspector. Why, what she's asking is too horrible.
Do what I say.
Oh, God bless you, Inspector. And you'll bring him right along?
Yes.
The brazenness of the girl, saying she sent Helen for those letters.
I say, Inspector, you're most welcome. Can we all go now?
You shall not. I shall have to ask everyone to return to the other room.
Look here, you have the guilty party. Is there no end to this red tape?
Thank you, Mr. Trent. Your assurance that I have the guilty party gives me great relief. Will you come, please?
I've never been so annoyed. I've never been so upset in all my life. Never. I guess that's all right, isn't it?
Yes, sir, that's all right. Now, don't be worried. You go back to Nellie.
Please! Now, will you all do as Madame Lagrange asks?
Now, if you'll all take the same places.
Look here, everyone. We should refuse to continue this tomfoolery.
Oh, I think this is a beastly outrage. Sir Roscoe, must we continue with this?
Inspector, is this necessary?
Quite necessary. Mr. Standish, your demonstration is unnecessary.
Unnecessary? Unnecessary? I say, sir, that's the dead body of Edward Wales. Inspector, this is a little too much. It's too much. You really are going too far.
We can't bear this. We really can't stand it.
I'm sorry.
Sure, the innocent need have no fear of the dead. No, if you'll all sit down.
Will you please be seated?
Don't.
I resent the full proceeding.
Much too far for my...
Oh, this is horrible. Horrible. Father, must I sit here?
Inspector, is it necessary for my daughter to sit there?
Please.
Why not? The innocent need have no fear. My Nellie will hold his other hand. Now, Inspector, if you'd please close the door.
I say, we're not going to sit in the dock with that, are we? Oh, this is dreadful. Dreadful.
No. If you'll all join hands. No, just keep your minds free. That's all you have to do. Now, sir, you can put out the light.
Oh, this is horrible, horrible.
The message has come. You that hiding, come out. You that skulking, come out. I call on the spirit of Edward Wales. I call on the spirit of Edward Wales.
I am trying to reach you. I am far away.
That's Wales' voice. And Wales is dead.
I've come a long way.
Mother, he's moving. Oh, I can't stand this. I can't stand this. Mother, he's taking his hand away.
Look.
Mrs. Eastwood, Mary, my hair! You're touching my hair!
Oh, take him away. Take him away. I did it.
Grimshaw. Yes, Inspector? Get ready to take down Miss Eastwood's confession.
No!
You believed Wales was the only one who could get the message from Spencer Lee. You killed Wales to prevent that.
Oh.
Yes, and you killed Spencer Lee. Why?
I had to. He deserved it. Oh, he deserved it. Everyone thinks that my husband has gone to London on business. But he hasn't. He found out about Spencer and me. Oh, and he left me. I was there with him that day in his room when Nellie came. Oh, the beast, the rotten beast! Knowing that I was there hiding, he tried to make love to Nellie. Then she left. I went crazy. I went mad. I grabbed a knife from his desk and I stabbed him. I killed him. Oh, that's enough. Please. You don't have to know anymore. You don't have to know anymore. Oh, please, you don't have to know anymore.
That chair. Where's Richard? That chair was empty when I turned on the light.
Sure, sir. 'Twas Mr. Richard put the cane in poor Mr. Wales's sleeve so he could point his arm in the air. Nellie, darling. Oh, excuse me, sir.
Father, I lied about Nellie. I lied about those letters.
I know, my dear. I know.
Oh, Nellie.
Last night, are they going to live happy ever after? Remember, it's 2 raps for no and 1 for yes.
Richard, I love you so.